Hey guys, welcome back to the Patty Martin Real Estate Group YouTube channel. My name's Adam Wachtel, and we're here with our monthly update with Patty Martin. How's it going, Patty?
Pretty good.
Today we want to talk about if are we going to see a true spring market? What do you think, Patty?
We still do not have the inventory. It's just crazy. We just cannot seem to get that supply up. And so there's still a tremendous amount of demand and still multiple offers, and it's hard on these poor buyers.
Yeah, we
Great
kind of
for the
sound like a
sellers.
broken record the past three months or so, that despite the interest rate increases and now pause, buyer demand is still there, but inventory just hasn't met that. So if we go into total sales, home sales in the region totaled 2,741 for April 2023. This is a 16% decrease from last year and a
Yes.
15.6% decrease from the 10-year seasonal average. So it's interesting to see that when we started the year, sales were down about 40%, and now sales are down only 15% from that kind of 10-year seasonal average. Is that what we've
Right.
been seeing in the marketplace?
Absolutely. Like, it's been busy. We've been busy. Lots
Yeah, and
and
we're
lots
seeing
of
that.
people.
Yeah, and we're seeing that all across the board, from like our one-bedroom condos in Vancouver to our $2+ million houses, to even our building lots are getting that type of attention now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look at the one we just put on. All the activity that we have is astounding to me, really, but there's nothing else to choose from. So people are, coming to see it.
Yeah, it's definitely creating that buyer demand now. And then because of that demand, we're going to get into looking at some of the numbers to see if we're increasing in market pricing. So that's going to be interesting to see. If we are
Right.
looking at home
It's,
pricing, yeah, go ahead.
well, it's still pretty stable. That's all I was going to say. You're not getting away with that. There's this steady incline of price. It's not happening. It's still pretty stable. Sure, there's a little bit of this and that here and there, but if it's not priced well, it just sits. No matter, despite that there's no inventory, there are things that have been on the market for 30 days or more, and that signifies that they're overpriced. In this.
Yeah, so even though there isn't a lot of inventory, buyers are still pretty cognizant of what's going on out there and are somewhat aware of a market price. Now, if we're getting into a multiple offer, sure, the prices might go up a little bit, but it's still in a ballpark range. And from the board, they kind of projected a 2% increase over the year in home prices across the board, so all property types. And we're sitting now at 5% increase as of today. Now, it's a long year, so anything can change. Summer can change.
Anything could change. Yeah. The interesting thing is, even with just our own experience, we've had a couple of multiple offers in the last week. There's not craziness. People are very guarded as to what they'll pay, and then that's it. And so as long as you've priced it within the realm of possibility, income, the offers, you're getting 3 or 4. There's nothing lights out better than anybody else. They're all around the same number, which signifies a very stable market, despite the fact that there's low inventory. There's some multiple offers that do seem crazy. Like, people tell me the story, oh my gosh, it sold for $100,000 more. And I say, that's because the realtor underpriced it so poorly that they didn't know what to do. And so 100,000 difference is too much. We know what they're
It's
going to
almost
sell
like
for.
you're looking at like list price, and list price is just like come and see my place versus an actual true market price. But when you're working with a professional to pay that $100,000 over, when you're looking at market comparables and recent sales, if you're going to be able to justify it before you even come close to offering that much over. So when I hear 100 over, I think exactly what you think. Somebody just underpriced it to offload it.
And seriously underpriced it, because we do price like that is a marketing strategy right now, because there's so much interest. So we are pricing very edgy. We're right on the line of what it should sell for, and then hopefully getting just a tiny bit more for the seller. And that's worked consistently for us in the last couple of months.
Right. When we look at new inventory, so new properties listed on the MLS, this is detached, attached, apartment, condos, duplexes, everything. We have 4,307 new listings, so a 30% decrease from April last year, 2022, and a 22% decrease from our 10-year average. So again, there's our story right there. The sellers that were kind of taken off the market in December have already come back on. They've likely sold, but now we're still not seeing that rush to market that you would typically see in the spring.
Yeah, it was interesting because I was at an evaluation yesterday and I was just looking at the numbers and I was talking about a year ago versus today. And the interesting part was that there was actually less inventory, right? But the number of sales was almost identical, like it was within two. And I thought, wow, that's incredible. So because our market last year started to slow down about this time.
Yes.
And now this year it's still staying fairly consistent. So it's actually equaling where we were.
Well, it helps stay consistent when the government pauses their interest rates for 2 cycles. Like they haven't lowered it, they haven't raised it, so it kind of gives this sense of confidence back to the market, which buyers want to see before they then jump back in. So hopefully sellers can have that same visualization of the interest rates in the market and then move forward with putting their house on the market. When we're looking at over the entire MLS, the total number of homes listed for sale is 8,790. So this is only 4.2% lower than last year. And last year, we already were talking about having low inventory. So 4.2% below last year's numbers and essentially 21% below the 10-year seasonal average of 11,000.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the numbers are really crazy. Like, just take Richmond alone. They're at about 360 homes for sale. Like
detached?
Detached. Normal market should be 6 or 7. So that's a big difference. And then you have to factor in that some are incorrectly priced, as I said, because some of them have been sitting on the market for 30, 40, 50 days. If you're on the market,
maybe that'll be our next market update, because what we'll do is look at the Richmond market and we'll see how many homes are actually just building lots, how many homes are designated for apartment sales. So how many of those 370 homes are true homes that people can actually move into and not repurpose for redevelopment?
Right, there's
my next assignment.
Yeah, the other assignment is let's look at how many are really priced well.
Yeah.
Because I would argue that probably 25% of them are not. So that's a significant take out of the market of real potential purchases you could make.
Yeah, it goes to show you that there's even less inventory than what the stats are suggesting. Because when they say there's 370 inventory, let's say a third of those are no bueno.
Yeah, now you're like 270. That's not very many houses.
It's interesting. When I'm looking at the stats section again, I found this quite alarming a little bit. So in November 2022, towards the end of the year, there was 10,000 homes listed for sale, 10,000 on the MLS. And then in December, so you're coming into the holiday season, people get out in the market. There's 7,500 homes are listed for sale. So a decrease of 25%. January comes around. Okay, January comes around, there's 7,900. February, 8,200. March, 8,400. Like you're just limping in and crawling in inventory. Like would normally spring comes and it's not this flat line. It's normally a big spike once you get into the spring market.
Yeah.
So there's our that's the part that's unusual about this spring, is that there's just no inventory.
It'll be interesting to see if it doesn't happen, how the market fares anyway, because we've had a terrible spring for weather, like people aren't doing other things because it's raining. So oftentimes that affects our market. Like if the weather gets beautiful suddenly, like past years, our market can quiet for a good month while people are enjoying the sunshine and getting all about buying a house. So it'll be interesting to see if even despite the lack of inventory, whether things don't calm down, if in fact it becomes a little more nice to be outside.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. So the board kind of wants to end their news release in this way. They say near record low inventory levels would create competitive conditions where almost any resurgence in demand would translate to price escalation. So ultimately what they're saying is that there's such low inventory where if there's any uptick in buyers to the market, more buyers, fewer properties, you're going to see an increase in price.
Yes.
Or maybe you're not seeing that increase in price, but maybe you're seeing the increase in competition.
Well, I mean, it's gonna translate to price if there's competition, right? It's inevitable.
Yeah.
But
so far too little supply, and just the pool of active buyers in our market is just completely distorted.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, there are still some areas of the market where we, especially the lower end, where we are seeing a bigger push in terms of pricing. We're seeing a little bit of a jump. If you're talking about a 1-bedroom apartment, seeing it increase $20,000 or $25,000 more than what you thought it might sell for is not that unusual right now.
Correct. We've been on both sides of that, I believe, the selling side and the buying side, where we've lost out by tens of thousands of dollars, and also we've been on the selling side where we've earned a few $1,000s extra than what the market is typically paying. But that's inventory rarity of property, that's supply and demand for you. I think that's a good synopsis of kind of what's happening in our market in April. There's not a whole lot that's changed from previous months. It's still the same story. Lots of buyer demand out there, low inventory. And I think we're going to say the exact same thing that we've said in months past, that if you're a seller considering selling, get your house on the market sooner than later, because you're probably going to benefit from more buyers. Negotiate a longer completion so that you can then go find something.
Yeah.
And is there any other recommendations?
Well, we never have homeless people. We've always
That's true.
Yeah.
How long have you been in the business, Patti?
36 years, never ever had someone homeless.
We will find you a home. I promise. We will negotiate the best terms so that you can go and achieve your dreams, and we will do it for you so you can make a confident decision.
In any market.
In any market.
That's right. Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the April market update. You know where to find us. There's a link in the description below with our contact information. If you just want to talk real estate, have a home evaluation, talk about the buying process, talk about the market, anything at all, reach out. We're here to chat.